There are real things that are affecting people, whether it be depression, whether it be Alzheimer's, whether it be battling with drug use, or there are so many things that we're going. You don't always find that. And when you have it, you can take it for granted. When you don't have it and you're at a bad job, and you know there's a lot of bad jobs out there, or just there's like tension, there's politics, it's a really decent group of people. And yeah, I know, you scored a good one.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's, or unless they just do that to me, to
I'm
keep
sure
me in line.
Why would
yes,
no.
stop it with your attitude. Yes, Catherine, yes, yes, yes. This episode is so satisfying.
It's going to happen.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
A recognizable...
Let's just do the interview.
Not that comfortable with the idea of fame yet, but she better.
There is a certain point that if people are going to just completely reject you and say that's unacceptable, it's a way of living, you know, and
Ivo remains
it's better than life.
I almost already grew up in a lot of ways like the token Asian, and when it comes to my work...
Grace Park joined the cast as Liz. Welcome Grace Park back to Studio Q. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Nice to see you. Happy month.
It hung in the balance, I mean, because we didn't really know who was going to make the show or not. Just kind of strictly like job-wise, like do I have a job or not? Do I have bullet wounds? I think it took, I can't remember, probably a few months later, but one of the things I had said off the bat, because they had so many of the characters, their lives, their fate was in the balance, that I was wondering who was going to make it and who wasn't. And maybe, I'm not sure why, but they were like, no one's gonna die. And I was like, come on. And I maybe it's because they hadn't decided yet, I don't know. They had to see the cut being put together, all that kind of business. But I was essentially like, look, you can't do that, especially coming from Battlestar where people are dying left, right, and center. Like, I don't know if it's maybe better in Canada, because you can walk around and often people don't necessarily come up to you that much. They kind of give you respect. Rarely Google myself.
And why is that?
Because I just got really bored of it after doing it every day for a year. Nothing new came up, really. New? Yeah, this was it.
Her character spent a lot of quality time hanging out in this one.
Kind of looking around, but not thinking anything about it.
So you're highly recommending that people go to Netflix, who's uncomfortable with the spotlight. Someone who gets angry when she's stared at.
A white belt. You
mock me.
I'm not mocking. I'm trying to encourage you.
Surf. What was the other one?
Well, I'm not concerned that you're in.
It's like getting used to new set of skills, I would say.
How's the set, like, atmosphere different?
Oh, yeah.
I guess you have to stand up for what it is. I mean, you have to feel good with what you need to do at the end of the day. And sometimes when you're a little bit younger, you're pressured into doing certain things. And then there's a point when you just, you know, you feel a solidarity within.
Thank you so much. When they first asked me if I would, but yeah, I really do owe them for saying no in the beginning, because I know people that have had the support of their families to be actors, and they didn't know why they couldn't. And I got to do a scene with Athena and Boomer. We had Jen, who plays, what does she play? Celix, yes. She. People.
You gonna get a star?
It's like 4.
Yeah.
Oh.
50 is behind. Way behind.
Yeah. Benjamin Brand. That's a lot of fun. And I started a Canadian show up in Toronto, across the border. Tuesday. He was like, sounds great to me. until I guess they probably screened it to some other people, and then I had to like ADR all my Korean pretty much, and I was like, well, I thought it was fine. And then after I started doing it, I realized it was pretty. We definitely have a lot of characters, and you can be engrossed in the show, but it's also, I feel it's like, even though it's set in space, like some DVDs.
And during the panel, Ron Moore had talked about, I mean, he was really upset, which a lot of us are, about the fact that the Emmys have overlooked this show so much.
Yeah, you know what? He said it was a crime. I didn't even realize the Emmy had, and then I found out after the panel, and I was a little bit.
And it's sad because, I mean, you know, everybody on that, on that cast works so hard.
Stuff like that, but not necessarily.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
so,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Grace. We appreciate it.
Idaho and BC. Trying to crack this FBI most wanted case about child brides crossing the border. But when you go as a model, like, you're just there to put on the clothes and to shoot a few pictures and then go home, right? You know, like, you're just supposed to take care of yourself, you know, and that's just kind of how it is. Decision, like, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And she did what she had to do, kind of. And by the end, I think she almost has to take...
Your character has come a long way in this whole season, hasn't she?
I think she quite has. I mean, she's smart, but you're not ready for that. And then there's a lot of things that are really gruesome. And death here in Hawaii, not like that. It's a very peaceful place, you know? I don't think any amount of preparation could have prepared me for what was going to happen on this show. And I don't just mean like the ratings or how well it's gone, because I think a number of people think like, oh, you must be so happy now. You live in Hawaii, you're on a hit show, like you must be happy all the time. And it's like, it's not like spinning magic fairy dust. It's vodka. So, Lost, where were we? The finale, who here liked it? Who did you?
It's been really amazing to be able to work in a place like Hawaii with the culture and the history of the islands, and that's at the same time. So like the flights, I remember one time flying here and not sleeping a wink from, I was either Vancouver or LA, and when you're doing the overnight and you know you're landing at work, like I didn't really see it that much before, so just driving around, trying to get around, it's like there's a lot of buildings.
Maybe I can remember probably 2 boomers, but the first time we came, I think Aaron and I were gonna go hit the floor, and our publicist was losing it, like, no, like, please don't do it. And we went, and like, we weren't really recognized that much, and so I was like, oh, come on, let's go have lunch.
Right.
And
some voices. Any cartoon voice work coming up by chance? Some cartoon fun?
Oh, I don't do a lot of voice work. I did like American Dad. I'm trying to think what else I've done. That kind of stuff is when you're not on screen. It's the leisure.
Well, this is the place to ask about it. You know, the chance to do comedy, cartoon voice. Yeah.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Excellent. You can sit, stand, leap, run around.
I realized what it meant to me about being on set, but I remember being in my parents' house with by the fax machine and looking at some sides, which is what they call the word, like kind of the words you basically have to audition with. I remember looking at that thinking,